Hey guys, I've got something new to play with and I'm really excited. I got the new collab from Lunar Beauty and Lorelei Los Angeles. These are two brands I really love and I'm excited to play with them and you know, check it out. So let's get into it. So in this collection there's an eyeshadow palette. It is called the Full Fantasy Color Palette. Here's what it looks like. He usually has like a moon for lunar, of course, but this one is actually a sun. And here is the palette itself. A lot of neutrals, but there's also some color in there, which I appreciate. The neutrals, of course, but I appreciate the color too because sometimes you feel like color. So I think it's very beautiful. I love this palette. I love the shades of the palette, and I'm excited about this one. When I saw it, it reminded me of another palette, and I'll show that to you in just a second. But this is $48 if you purchase this separately. It also had this, which is the, I held it upside down. This is the Full Fantasy Blush Palette, and here are the shades in this palette, which I think are absolutely gorgeous. And you have two highlighters in here too, so you have 4 blushes and 2 highlighters. They also came out with 2 lipsticks with this one. Here's the outer packaging, which is so pretty, and the way you get it out is you just push down and it comes out. So this one is the shade Mora. It's a little more peachy. And that one is the shade Lanny, which is a little bit more like a cool pink. It's very pretty. I love these lipsticks. I think they are so pretty. And also with this collection, there are brushes. So I love Lorelei's brushes, and I love Lunar Beauty's. Lorelei, I prefer hers. So you get a big like powder cheek brush with this. A smaller you can use for cheek or under eye setting, whatever you want to use it for. This is a smaller brush you could use for highlighter, or even a big blending brush. This is like a smaller like packer brush almost. You have this one, which is like a line smudger brush. And then this one is a true like flat packer brush, which is really nice, and it's dual ended, and it has a pencil brush on this end. So that's nice. But I love the shades. I think the shades on these are really beautiful, and I love her brushes, and these feel soft and nice, just like all of her brushes do. Right now, my favorite eyeshadow blending brush is this one from Lorelei, and it's the L36, and I like to just get in there and like put bronzer in the crease or whatever. This is the one, and it's pretty big, but this one here is even bigger, but it's a little bit shorter too. So it's a little different. It's the number 4 out of this collection, but I can still see myself using it for my eye too. Here is the Lorelei Los Angeles blush palette, and I'll just quickly compare these. So here is a comparison of those. Here is the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism blush palette, which is really pretty. I don't see any like exact shades. Like this one here is, sorry, I didn't mean to blind you. This one here is a shimmer peach, and then here is the latest Lunar Beauty blush palette, which is the Nude Prism, and it's really beautiful, but I don't see any overlapping shades really. So when I saw this palette, I automatically thought of this palette from Lunar Beauty, and I thought they were basically the same size, and they are pretty much the same size. So here I'll compare these two. This one is the Nude Prism, and then this one is the Full Fantasy. Some similarities, but also some differences. So, and then I also thought of the Whimsical Nudes from Lorelei. It had some really pretty like green and gold tones in it. Just thinking it might be a little similar. And also Nudie number 2 from Lorelei. I thought it might be a little similar. I don't see any exact shade dupes, which is always good, but I do see some that would absolutely complement one another. So here's a swatch of the first row. This shade is called Cloudy, Your Fave, Besties, Full Femme, We're Back, and Sunny. That one is super close to my skin tone, but a beautiful row. Love it. Here's the second row swatch. This first one is called Girlies. Second is called Not My Vibe. This middle one is called Fool's Gold. And I absolutely love that shade, by the way. This next one is called Aries, and I love that one as well. It has like a purple blue shift. This is called Lanny, and this one is called Social. Very pretty. And the final row is Peek and Pit, What's Going On, Mora, Trivia, Virgo, and Break Time. Really beautiful. I love the shade here. So pretty. The day they announced this palette, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go buy that because I just love their brand so much. And so I went to do it, and then I kind of paused and I was like, wait a minute, I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes and I don't need it. So I did wait a little bit before I ordered this. So I didn't like run and order it automatically. I did wait just a little bit, and then I decided after I saw a review or two to go ahead and order it, and I actually got it pretty quickly. So I'm very, very pleased. I really like the depth in this palette, and like you go from something very light to super dark, and I really like that. While I'm swatching, I'm going to go ahead and swatch the blush palette. So pretty. Let me just show you these highlighters really quick, how easily they swatch. One swipe. That is so pretty. Alright, so this one is called Gold Fantasy, Pink Blossom, Rose Skyline. This one's Rose Skyline. This next one is Nude Champagne, Peachy Keen, and Sandbar. I almost think I could use that for a bronzer. I feel like this palette has a lot of depth as far as like skin tones and different things that can use this, and I feel like it goes from a light to a deep, and I really like this palette. Let's go into the eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to use this one here called Besties first, and I'm going to use this big brush. Blended it out in no time. I love that. I'm going to go into this shade here called Lanny, and I'm going to take the number 3. And that's going in this outer corner. Then I'm going to go into this shade here called Social. Same brush. And just kind of pack on top of that. Next, I'm going to take the number 1 brush, and I'm going to go into the shade here called Aries. And I'm taking the flat side of this because it's the dual-ended one. And this is going on the center of the eye. Then I'm dipping into this here called Full Femme. I cleaned off my brush, and I'm using the same brush. This is going on the inner portion. So pretty. I love it. And I didn't have to use my finger with those shimmers. They are creamy, very creamy. If you look at this one in particular, it looks almost like a cream to powder formula. I don't know that they are. It just feels that way. One more thing is I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to use this Break Time, which is the black, on number 2, and I'm going to smudge that. As a liner. So pretty. I love it. I love this palette. I knew I would. I did something a little different than I normally would have. I wanted to go for all the neutrals, but I decided to go for purple. So it's not a complete 180, but it is a little different for me. So I'm excited to keep using it and keep using some of these shades. I just think they're so beautiful. So I'm gonna go and do the rest of my makeup, and I'll come back when we're ready to do blush and highlight. Okay, let's finish up. I'm gonna go into the eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna put this black along my bottom lash line, probably not the whole lash line, maybe just like a quarter, halfway. Then I'm gonna take the other side of the dual-ended brush, which is like the pencil, and I'm gonna take the Lanny shade right here, and I'm gonna kind of buff that with the black. Clean that off, and then I'm going back in with Besties, and I'm gonna just kind of finish buffing with that. And that's that for the bottom lash line. I really like that. I think it's so pretty. Everything else I have on my face, I'll link down below. All right, now we're going to the blush palette, and I think I'm gonna try this Sandbar shade as a bronzer and just see how it goes. And I want to do it lightly because I don't want to get too heavy-handed, so I'm going to take the number 6 brush. It's definitely more of a blush shade, I do believe, because it looks a little bit too rosy for like a bronzer, but it's still really pretty, and I would definitely wear it as a blush. Okay, next I'm going to take Pink Blossom. I'm just very intrigued by this. Everybody loves the Dior blushes and all that, so I'm intrigued by that one. I'm going to take the smaller brush, which is the number 5, and I'm going to put that on my cheeks. That's pretty. I thought it was going to be too light for me, but I don't think it is actually. If you hear fireworks, I apologize. I have some crazy neighbors who've started early. This is what I'm going to use for highlighter, which is Nude Champagne. I'm going to take that brush and just be strategic with it. One last thing, I'm going to take the highlighters and mix them and highlight the inner corner and brow bone. I went ahead and put on the Caramel Latte liner from Jacqueline Cosmetics. Then I'm going to put on the Lanny lipstick, and there you go. I really like that lipstick. I like a lighter lipstick. I like to do something, I like to do lighter lipsticks. So you can deepen it up with a lip liner, or you can just leave it lighter, however you want to do it. But I did put on a pinky lip liner, so it wasn't too deep, but it was a little bit deeper than lipstick. So I loved everything. It was a great collection. I don't really have a favorite. Like, I can't tell you, like, this is my favorite. I love it all. Like, I love the eyeshadow palette. I love the blush palette and highlighter palette, and I love the lipsticks. And I dropped one. That's why I only have one in my hand. And I love the brushes. I love everything. So there's not one thing that's like my absolute favorite from this collection. I love everything. The highlighters in here are amazing. They remind me of her Lit Kit highlighters. If you've ever experienced that formula, that's what those remind me of. Very creamy, very pigmented, a super blinding highlight for sure. The shades in here are beautiful, and I thought that it was so much like the Nude Prism palette, and I didn't need it, but I'm really glad that I have it, because I feel like I can definitely get some deeper looks with this one than I can with Nude Prism. Some different colorful looks. I couldn't get this with Nude Prism. I couldn't get the purple from Nude Prism. So I really am happy to have this. So I'm not mad that I bought it. Even though I don't need any more eyeshadow palettes, like I say every time, I'm still not unhappy with it. So tell me if you're thinking about picking this up, if you have, or it could be sold out. Who knows? I don't know. I waited a little bit to get this, and then by the time I get this edited and put up, it could be sold out. So let me know. Did you get it? Did you think about getting it? Have you seen it? What do you think about it? I do have this earbud in, and I'm trying to make the audio a little bit better, and I'm gonna work on getting some other audio. You'll probably see this before I made another video that explained that, but I am working on the audio. I heard your suggestions on that, and I'm gonna take on to heart and definitely work on that. So just bear with me for a little bit. I'm hoping this helps a little. I hope. Fingers crossed. We'll see. but I did hear it, and I promise I will do better with audio. And also I colored my hair, so that's different. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day. You're staying safe, happy, and healthy. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.